Hey, I hope everybody is doing great this Monday morning. I wanted to go over a comment I got over the weekend. So I put out a video on Friday talking about how I feel that it is possible to overeat on the carnivore diet. And normally I don't really talk about this stuff, but I want to talk about this one comment because I want to get your opinion on how you think I should have handled this. I'll let you know how I handled it and so forth. And I want to hear what you think about this comment. Okay. So this person, Stephen Carrier 6465, this profile, I should say, YouTube profile, which if you click on the profile link, I'm not sure if it's a bot or a real person. There is no picture for the profile, which is understandable. Some people don't put pictures out there. There is no content at all. There's no subscribers. They were not subscribed to my channel, that type of thing. Um, it could be a person because there are people that do that sometimes. They just watch videos and they comment whatever. But this seems to me like it could definitely be a bot, especially with the way things are worded. And here's their comment. I gained almost 40 pounds of visceral fat on the carnivore diet and looked puffy eating all of that meat and fat. I started eating carbs and lost it all and feeling healthy again. Okay, so one of the reasons why I think this could be a bot is because like the sentencing just seems too perfect for somebody that's just typing, right? Especially if they're on their phone. People don't type that perfect. Punctuation's great, all that kind of stuff. Um, Also, they use some wording that seems like it could have been a bot that was polling that analyzed my channel and was polling words that I use a lot in my videos, even if I didn't use them in this one particular video, like visceral fat. Um, Gained almost 40 pounds instead of lost almost 80 pounds because there were videos in the beginning where I said that kind of stuff. That seems a little weird. Um, Looked puffy. I talk about that a lot in different videos where I talk about how my face looked puffy, that kind of stuff. And then the feeling healthy again, that's something that I talk a lot about, that I felt healthy again after eating the carnivore diet. So it just almost seemed like a bot was pulling things, but maybe it was a real person. I don't know. So I'd like to hear your thoughts if you think it's a bot or a real person. Could be a real person, could be somebody that is in charge of going out to carnivore websites or carnivore YouTube channels and videos and making comments like that. Or it could just be somebody that really believes that. But let's break it down a little bit. Okay. They said that they gained almost 40 pounds of visceral fat on the carnivore diet and looked puffy from eating all that meat and fat. Well, visceral fat is not the type of fat you can see. It's not the fat that is the puffy fat. That is subcutaneous fat. Visceral fat is what's deep inside your body. And I've done a lot of research on this, talked a lot about this. I know a lot about the visceral fat. Okay. You need, there's a test you can do that can show you the number, by number, the amount of visceral fat you have in your body, or you can have an MRI done, which will show you exactly where it is and all that kind of stuff. But it's like the fat that's deep inside, like wrapped around your organs and that kind of stuff. Okay. 40 pounds of that wrapped around your organs, you're not healthy. Trust me. You're not going to be very healthy with that. Okay. There isn't a doctor on the planet that would tell you that 40 pounds, gaining 40 pounds of visceral fat is very healthy. So I can see where this could be a good claim if you're trying to, go against the carnivore diet, right? But anyway, okay, so that's visceral fat. You can't see it. Subcutaneous fat is, the puffy cheeks, the bigger belly that you might have, that kind of stuff. That's the type of fat that you can see. Subcutaneous, not visceral. So that's the first mistake here. The next thing that I'm going to pull out this is eating all that meat and fat. Okay. Make it sound like eating fat makes you fat. And that just isn't true. Okay. The fat that you eat, dietary fat, does not correlate with body fat. That's not, that's just not a relevant thing. And that's the dogma that the pharmaceutical companies are going to tell you because they want to keep you using their products, spending money on their pharmaceutical products. Okay. That's the lies that we've been told for so long, and people are over it. Like, fat does not cause fat. It's ridiculous. Okay. That's ridiculous. There are people that are actually doing fat fasts where they will take a few days where all they eat is fat and they lose weight. They seem to get slimmer. They're losing some of that subcutaneous fat and so forth, and probably losing visceral fat as well. So that's just ridiculous. Okay. Here's the next thing. If you take somebody that was on the carnivore diet, not eating any carbohydrates, and they started eating carbs again and lost all that weight and started feeling healthy again, I don't know a single person that would tell you that would tell you that, yes, I was on the carnivore diet and then I went and started eating a bunch of carbs and now I actually feel healthy again where I didn't on carnivore. One, either they had issues with their electrolytes where things were out of whack and did carnivore for a very short period of time, or two, it's a made up story. That's my opinion. So here's where I'm at with this. Okay. I could have responded and left it up there, and I decided not to because I said, I think, number one, I think this is a bot, or number two, this is somebody that's specifically just trying to discount carnivore, and I don't believe that their comment is very real. The only way I can possibly think that they could have possibly gained 40 pounds of carnivore, first of all, it wasn't in a short time period if you gained 40 pounds, okay? It just wasn't in a short time period. They were on it for quite a while. And who would be on carnivore for a while and gain that much before they decided to do something, right? So anyway, second part of that is that they would have had to have eaten a lot of dairy and stuff like that that was giving them trouble, that was maybe bloating them, that kind of stuff. And they thought it was fat. But again, saying visceral fat instead of subcutaneous, I don't know. And then the whole eating carbs again and feeling healthy and losing all of that visceral fat, which again, they probably have no way of knowing how to even measure visceral fat because they didn't have the MRI done or the other test, which I can't remember the name of that test right now, and I'm not going to look it up, but that's fine. So they probably had no idea about visceral fat. But the fact of eating carbs again, you're going to retain water when you eat carbs. So what kind of carbs were they eating? I'd be very interested to hear. Again, I didn't respond or anything. I just said, you know what? This is either a bot or this is somebody who's trying to discredit the carnivore diet. So what I actually did was I hid them from my channel so that they cannot comment, that kind of stuff. And I want to hear from you. Do you think that was the right move? Should I have hid them from the channel? Basically deleted their comment, whatever. Or should I have left it? Should I have responded to it and maybe said some of the same things I said now? I don't know. What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear it because maybe I didn't do the right thing here. Maybe I should have done it differently. So I'd like to hear. And, if everybody thinks I should have responded and left the comment up there, maybe I'll go back in since all I did was hit it, technically didn't delete it, and I'll unhide it and let it back out. So let me know your thoughts.